on reserve.
Pipe it up, 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 pipe it up.
I really
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium, where we have the Panthers and the Mustangs. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, and I will be here with you throughout this competition. We are on a webcam right now, which is why your video feed is a little fuzzy. We are working to see if we can get one of our higher quality cameras to connect today. Unfortunately, the equipment that we need is not presently available. We are going to try to get that fixed for our next broadcast. In the meantime, we'll narrate the action for you as best we can while we see if we can get, again, a higher quality connection established. But in the meantime, we appreciate your patience, and we're happy to bring you what live action we can. Certainly, you can follow along with the score there at the bottom of your screen. Right now, the Panthers in possession. And that was Sarah Freeman with the first goal. That gives the Panthers a 1-0 lead. With 24 minutes remaining in the first half. Mustangs are in a free position in their own backfield. And we'll stop again immediately for crossing through the sphere. Lena Giles with the second goal for the Panthers. That gives them a 2-0 lead with 20 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the first half. Lena Giles with another goal. That's her second tonight, the third overall for the Panthers. They lead 3-0 with 15 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the first half. And ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the midpoint of the first half with about 11 minutes, 18 seconds remaining. We'll pause for a timeout. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Baptist Orthodontic Stadium, where we are getting ready to go with the back portion of the first half. We have gotten a better camera connected, and at least for the time being, it seems to be working. So hopefully this will give you a better experience. We apologize. We had a little bit of a fuzzy video feed there for the opening 12 minutes or so, and we were a little quiet on the commentary as well because we were trying to get it wired up properly here. So now that we've done that, we hope to bring you some higher quality coverage. We'll pause here for a violation. Fight for the ground ball. Panthers come up with it. Shot opportunity coming up here. And we'll get a violation called against the Mustangs. Long pass. Rodriguez thinks better of it, goes behind the net. Back out, and the ball is dropped by Giles. She has 2 goals so far for the night for the Panthers. 3-second call against the Mustangs. Panthers will take a shot there. Pass dropped by Stevenson. Out of bounds to the Panthers. Here comes Giles. She'll go all the way to the crease unchallenged. Gets the pass off. Lena Giles on the pass to Sarah Freeman for the Panther goal. That gives DP a 4-0 lead with just about 7 minutes remaining in the first half. And I promise I'm going to remember to actually move the camera as we continue here. Normally we would have Wekiva broadcast production involved in this, so please don't blame them for the shoddy camera work. That is the fault of your fearless announcer here, as I'm running a one-man band tonight. We've had a lot of disruption on campus this week due to an internet issue. There was a virus that was discovered on the network that caused Wekiva to be cut off from the internet from Thursday night through early this morning. And so as a result of that, we did not schedule any students for this afternoon's games because there was a very good chance we would not be able to webcast them. But then the internet did come online during the day today, and so we are here in webcasting, but again, we're doing so without the usual complement of resources that we would have to do that. So thanks for your patience as we work on getting this figured out. We want to bring you as much good quality webcasting coverage of our spring events as we possibly can this year. The Mustangs get inside the crease. There's a nice shot from Rebecca Roberts, but it goes wide of the goal. Still in control of the Mustangs, though, as Zayna Drummer chases that one down in the corner. Dropped and barely brought under control by Hernandez. And so this is going to be a priority for us this season. We've been doing a decent job over the last couple years, ever since the moratorium was lifted by Orange County on doing webcasting. Previously, we had Spectrum Television had exclusive rights to all Orange County games, even though they didn't broadcast most of them. They still had the exclusive right to do so, and so we were not able to broadcast games until recently. Now that we have that right, because Spectrum no longer has a high school sports channel, there's a shot by Manny Rodriguez, and it bounces off with a save. But now that we have the rights to broadcast our own games, as those are no longer exclusively granted to another organization, we are doing so as often as we can. We got started last year with football and basketball, and this year we are going to extend that to the extent possible into volleyball, lacrosse, baseball, softball, pretty much anything we host on campus. Some of our spring sports, though, are a little more challenging from a logistics standpoint, particularly baseball and softball, since those are fully outdoors and we don't have a press box for those. That makes it a little more challenging dealing with the weather. And now I realize I've been paying so much attention to the camera that I forgot to turn on the clock. So we're going to say about 3 minutes have elapsed. Official time being kept on the field anyway, since we don't have the scoreboard working here at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium. Regardless of what I keep on the scoreboard is going to be unofficial. A good look there by Sarah Freeman, an equally good save by the Mustangs. And they're immediately going to get called for a violation, though, and the ball is going to go right back to the Panthers. This is the first year under the helm of Coach Nash. That's intercepted there by Monty Rodriguez. And we got everybody on the ground. We'll pause for a covered cross violation. And so as we are in our early games here in the spring season, we appreciate your patience and your understanding as we are kind of using these early games as live experiments, testing out some new equipment that we've acquired, some new cords and cables, and different ways of configuring the sound system so that it can provide information both to our fans who are here in person as well as those of you listening on the web. And so we could do that in a closed door environment and not do any webcasting until we were sure we got it right. But we don't want to deprive you of any video that we can get out there. So even though this is still something of a work in progress with these webcasts, we invite you to join us for them and see that work in progress, even though it may be a little rough around the edges at first, as an obstruction violation is called against the Mustangs here. Free position awarded to Elena Kahn. And hopefully by the end of the season we'll have this all figured out and we'll have full complement of students helping us to man the stations for the crew, and we'll have a nice professional quality webcast going for you. Kahn to Giles, and that will be a goal for the Panthers. It gives them a 5-0 lead with just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. And so since we are under 2 minutes remaining in the first half, that means we will go to stop time for the remainder of the half. Again, remember the clock at the bottom of your screen is an approximation of what the officials have on the field. So if it hits 0 and they don't stop playing, don't panic. Likewise, if they stop playing and it hasn't hit 0 yet, well, still don't panic. Panthers win the draw. Quick pass from Giles. Over to Barry, looking for a ground shot there. She can't get one. We get a push called on the Mustangs. And another push. Lena Giles on the pass to Sarah Freeman for the Panther goal. That gives them a 6-0 lead with just under a minute and a half remaining in the first half. Panthers again win the draw. Good looking shot there by Cambria Berry on the ground, but the save is made by the Mustangs. Panthers stay in control. Three seconds, free position awarded to Lena Giles. Slash is called against Giles. Instruction, free position for Sarah Freeman. Sarah Freeman on the goal. That gives the Panthers a 7-0 lead with somewhere between 30 and 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Draw again won by the Panthers. Sarah Freeman with a quick win on the draw and goes straight to the net. That gives the Panthers an 8-0 lead. About 10 seconds later than we were before. Again, you can pull out your phone and tune to wekivamustangs.com/scoreboard if you'd like to see the score, the estimated time remaining, player penalties, and shots on goal. All of that's available at wekivamustangs.com/scoreboard. Sarah Freeman wins the draw. This time a little bit slower. instead of going straight for the net. Violation called on the Mustangs. Crossing through the sphere. Still Mustangs ball. And that takes us to halftime. So we were pretty close after all. Panthers will go into the break with a 9-0 lead over the Mustangs. And welcome back to Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you as the Panthers lead 9-0 at halftime, and we get ready for second half action. Once again, we remind you that the scoreboard can be viewed at wekivamustangs.com/scoreboard. You're welcome to pull that up on your mobile device if you'd like to see an estimate of the time remaining and the score of the shots and the player penalties. One minute remaining on the penalty that came from the first half. And the Panthers come up with the draw. Sarah Freeman. Cambria Berry with the goal to open up second half scoring for the Panthers and makes it a 10-0 lead with about 24 minutes remaining in the game. Again, the Panthers pick up the draw. Berry with that. Shot by Sarah Freeman, and it's in. Sarah Freeman on the goal, 11-0, with 23 minutes remaining in the game. Panthers again with the draw. Push. Mustangs ball. Shot by Weisenfeld. And the Panthers will retake control here. Lena Giles with the Panther goal. They extend their lead to 12 with 19 minutes left in the game. Panthers win the draw. Shot by Cambria Berry, and it is Cambria Berry on the goal. And an illegal draw. We'll do that one again. Mustangs will take this one for free. And it is picked off. Taken over by Sarah Freeman there. Freeman with the pass, the shot, and it's in. Freeman to Giles for the Panther goal. Just about 16 minutes remaining in the game. Barry wins the toss, takes the shot, out of bounds, and it goes to the Mustangs. Crossing through the sphere, Mustangs ball. Sarah Freeman with the goal. Panthers lead by 15 with 13 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the game. And that's close enough to the midpoint of the half that we'll pause for an official timeout. And for those of you listening online, that means we have to mute your audio for a minute so that YouTube doesn't accidentally overhear any copyrighted music and slap us on the wrist for that. All right, welcome back to Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. Here for the final 13 and a half minutes of this Monday night contest. Panthers win the draw. Panthers, of course, a very talented perennial powerhouse when it comes to girls lacrosse. Good early season challenge for the Mustangs. Guess we'll count that as a shot. Mustangs came up with it. And that was Sarah Freeman that got in the way of that one. She's been terrific for the Panthers all night. She has several goals for Dr. Phillips, as well as a couple of assists and just all-around good play in the front half of the field. Obstruction. Free position for Sarah Freeman. Sarah Freeman scores on the free position. 16-0 with 12 minutes remaining in the game. Of course, girls lacrosse and boys lacrosse probably more different than the girls and boys versions of any other sport. Boys lacrosse is, of course, a contact sport that reads very much like a cross between perhaps almost like a hockey game, like similar to field hockey, frankly, in terms of the scoring and the rules and the contact and the cross-checking, etc. It plays very much like hockey. It even uses the same scoreboard code. If you're operating the scoreboard, it uses the same settings as hockey. Girls lacrosse is considered a non-contact sport, so while they have made some adjustments to the rules in recent years regarding the headgear and the equipment that the ladies wear so that it is more similar to what the boys wear, they do not wear the shoulder pads and the heavy-duty padding because there are rules that protect them from the more direct physical components of the sport. And so as a result of that, there are also a lot more rules in girls lacrosse. You notice that play stops very frequently. Because there are a lot of rules, that means there are also a lot of ways to break them. You'll see a lot of violations in girls lacrosse, things like pushing, obstruction calls, very common, crossing through the sphere, which means that someone swung their cross, which is the fancy word for the stick with the net at the end of it. Someone swung their cross through an imaginary bubble that goes that forms a concentric circle from the edge of one shoulder blade to the edge of the other shoulder blade over a player's head. You're not allowed to swing your cross in that area. Covering there's a legal slash at the cross because there was no contact made with the player. It's actually very hard to do that in girls lacrosse because you're not allowed to make contact with the player. You see those kinds of violations. It's almost impossible to avoid getting from one end of the field to the other without committing some manner of violation. And here we're going to get a yellow card. Yellow card for a body check. Called against Layla Weisenfeld. That'll be a 2-minute penalty. Obstruction. Free position for Lena Giles. And so the penalties in girls lacrosse, not that different from boys lacrosse. In hockey, you'd hear this referred to as a power play. So it's a one-man advantage for the Panthers. And in the case of girls lacrosse, all yellow cards are worth a 2-minute penalty. Of course, girls lacrosse uses a running clock, so when we say 2 minutes, we mean 2 minutes. And because the scoring differential is more than 10 goals, the clock does not stop even on a goal. Giles scores on the free position. 17-0 is the score, with 8 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game. Now, in boys lacrosse, we'll talk about releasable versus non-releasable penalties. A releasable penalty means that if a goal is scored, all penalties for the other team end. In the case of a non-releasable penalty, that is not true. The full penalty time must be served even if a goal is scored. In girls lacrosse, the yellow cards are pretty much non-releasable penalties. So you will see Weisenfeld continue to stay in the penalty box here until the 2 minutes has elapsed, which right now, if I look at my timer, we have about 20 seconds left on that. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have the fancier version of the scoreboard. The scoreboard here at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium is not working at all right now. So even those who are here at the field may want to use the online scoreboard. If you want to see the online scoreboard with a little more detail than the score bug you see at the bottom of your screen, as we'll pause here for a break in the action. Penalty timer expired, both teams at full strength. You can see the player penalties on the full version of the scoreboard as well as the shots on goal counters because we have an actual, with the scoreboard that's here at Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium, even if it worked, is a multi-purpose scoreboard that's really meant for football, although it can display the information you need for the basics of a lacrosse game. However, Daktronics does make scoreboards that are specifically made for lacrosse and or hockey, and so that's the one we've chosen for our online version because it's free. To put as many giant digits as you want on an online scoreboard and to have as many different versions of them as you want. So we can show you hockey / lacrosse for these games, and we can show you football for that. We can show you a different version for soccer, and we can show you an entirely different scoreboard for baseball and volleyball, etc. So we have that flexibility with our online system since we don't have to pay $30,000 for each board. So again, that's WekivaMustangs.com/scoreboard. If you ever want to follow along with that, you can do that with or without the full live broadcast, and you can see those player penalty timers as well as the shots on goal for this sport. For baseball and softball, you'll see the score by inning as well as the run, hits, errors, and who's at bat. And a little kind of an ambiguous call here by the official. We'll wait and see what we got. Here on the goal, Mustangs on the board. All right, so that was, in spite of the kind of ambiguous whistle there from the officials, that was indeed a goal. And I'll double check this with Coach after the game, but I believe that was Ashley Pierre. We'll have to check the replay on that. Yellow card issued to Layla Weisenfeld. That'll be her second yellow card. So she'll be out for half the remainder of the game. Yellow card for slashing. Just about 3 minutes remaining in the game. Weisenfeld with 1 minute remaining on her penalty clock, 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining on Stevenson's penalty clock. Again, all that viewable on WekivaMustangs.com/scoreboard. Goal scored by Manny Rodriguez. Weisenfeld's penalty released, although she cannot return as it was her second yellow card. Javia Lara is into the game for her. And now Stevenson's penalty released. Mustangs back to full strength. 1 minute remaining. Shot by Giles. No good. Control stays with the Panthers. Illegal crease. Mustangs ball. Out of bounds, Panthers ball. Now, by my clock, time has expired. On the field, they have not observed that yet. Of course, I was keeping a running clock for the entire second half due to the scoring differential, but if the referees did not do the same, they may have a few extra seconds on their clock that I don't, and so we will keep playing until the referees tell us to stop. Nice work there by Stevenson on a legal check. Again, as I mentioned earlier, because of the rules of girls lacrosse, that's very difficult to do without getting called for a violation. Shot taken there by Zayna Drummer. I just heard them call 8 seconds on the court, so that, or on the ground there. So this is probably going to end before we get the ball back in play, and it does. That takes us to the end of the ball game. (18-1) the final score here on Monday Night Lacrosse action. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out tonight to support your Mustang and Panther athletes. Or for those of you who joined us online, thanks for tuning in. Lacrosse team is on the road tomorrow at Edgewater to face the Eagles at 6 o'clock. Then on Thursday, they head over to Apopka for a district contest at 6 o'clock. After that, they have spring break off. Your next chance to catch them here at home is not coming up until March the 27th. That is 2 weeks from Wednesday. That's your next chance to catch the Mustangs here at home, and that will be against Orangewood Christian, the Rams, at 6 o'clock. You can get the complete schedule on our website, WekivaMustangs.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Have a great night.